if there's a playbook out there. I mean, already I have a truck driver who sent me a very confidential email that said that he has heard that Federal Express has already been notified of its critical fleet, as he calls it, that they're responders, right? They're the ones who take out medicine and they deliver water and things like that. They've all been put on hold to get ready. To me, this smacks of organization for a country that screwed up when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans and just didn't handle that situation properly. I can't believe that this has been an organized effort unless they knew about it.
Well, we've had, there's been a lot of concern and a lot of planning recently, as in the last 2-3 years, of getting ready in case something did get loose or somebody let something loose, along with the fact that, Mother Nature can do it too. So it's been on everyone's mind. I know of an experimental medication that was available at Bush's inauguration in case of a bio attack during the last inauguration.
I've got a couple guests coming up next hour, Gary, who are into conspiracies. They investigate conspiracies for a living. You're not a conspiracy person, yet you're saying that it's possible that this could have been made.
It's a possibility. Like I said, is that at this point, no one has really taken the virus apart and looked at the genetic makeup of the virus. So if you look at it, you may be able to see whether or not there's been some splicing done, or whether, is this a lab-made virus, or whether or not this is a naturally occurring virus. The interesting thing is that this is a new player to the game, and his opening bets looks very big.
Is it unusual that a virus like this would include a pig strain, a human strain, and 1 or 2 possible bird strains?
In the 5 years I've been studying the viruses, I've never heard of a combination like that before.
Nor have I. And you're in the business.
I think I am.
All right, worst case scenario, if this thing is out of control, if it truly hits, and I still have my doubts on that, but worst case scenario, if it hits and hits big worldwide, what are we talking about?
Well, just in the United States, if it continues to be like it is in Mexico at about a 6.8% death rate, 80% of our population is going to be in that age range to be hit by it. We could look at anywhere from 5 to 15 million dead.
Well, that's huge. That's huge. What is the death rate of the normal flu?
Normal flu is...
let's see now. If they say, I can do it right now. They say 200,000 and 36,000 people die. So we're talking about, let's see. Oh, I got to do the math. Dan, do this for me. 36,000 divided by 200,000 or something like that. We'll get that. That's 10, 14, 16, 18%. Does that sound right?
That sounds right to
18%.
me.
So that's the normal flu then, theoretically, kills almost 3 times more people on a percent than this so-called feared pandemic does.
But the fact is going to be is that the rate of infection is going to be higher. So the total number of people that are infected in the United States may be 240 million.
Right. It won't be the 200,000. Okay, so explain the difference there. Why the normal flu, only 200,000 people get it? Why would this hit 200 million people?
This one seems to be moving faster than we have anticipated. It seems to be knocking down younger people. The current seasonal flu seems to have a little higher mortality rate in people who have multiple medical problems, such as the elderly. So it seems to knock people down. This one's knocking down healthy people, which is a concern.
Well, you're talking about 400 million dead worldwide if it hits 5 billion people.
That's about right. And the problem is that currently in the U.S. we need about, let's just say 2.4 billion doses of, let's say, Tamiflu. And I just saw yesterday that the U.S. government's going to release 1.2 million doses.
Somebody's going to make a lot of money on this, Gary.
Well, somebody's going to make a lot of money, and it's going to cost about $300 to $400 for a family of four. It may cost anywhere from $300 to $400 to treat a family of four with the current antiviral medication.
What do you recommend families do? Let's throw out the fact that it's either man-made, accidental, or even natural. Let's just throw that out for a moment. The fact is, it's here. We don't know how bad it's going to get. But what do you think people should do?
Well, first of all, I don't want to say buy my book, but my book, Pandemic, the last quarter of that book is about preparing for survival with the Mormon 52-week food list. I would say that for most families right now, I would set up a 10-day plan, which is to have enough food at the home, which would be carbohydrates and canned meats, if you can just do that, to be able to survive at home by yourself for 10 days. Because if it hits hard, we're going to lose the infrastructure. We're going to have the police get sick, the fire will be getting sick, the doctors will be getting sick. That's why in Mexico they're saying, please don't come to the hospital, because they're totally overloaded.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Gary, and you tell me what you think of this statement. And that is, I do not believe it's going to be a pandemic if this is a natural virus strain, okay? However, if this thing was concocted in a laboratory and released or somehow got out, then we could have some serious problems. Is that pretty accurate?
Well, it is, because a manufactured virus, if you're going to manufacture it, you're going to take bring out all the bad points in the virus so that it has the capability. So, you're going to make sure that this is not going to mutate itself down, so on and so forth. The other thing is that this virus will come out, and this is the first wave. This virus may come in waves for the next 4 to 5 years. The Hong Kong virus, Hong Kong flu, when it came out, was not too bad. The next year, as it came around and mutated, it had a high death rate in elderly people.
I have always said that there are no coincidences, that things happen for a reason. How coincidental is this, Gary, that Baxter, stonewalling questions about trade secrets and trying to reveal how the vaccines were contaminated several months ago, and then all of a sudden, after increased pressure, they claim that the batches were sent out by accident. And then we have this happen almost right on the doorstep of it? It's too weird. Yeah,
it looks like a smoking gun. And it's, unfortunately, it's going to be down the road quite a ways before we are able to find out exactly what happened. The biggest thing, like I said, today is just to be able to, even if this is a mildly fatal virus, let's just say it just spreads everywhere and has a low death rate, you'll see the schools closed, no basketball playoffs or baseball games because there'll be no people there. The people will elect to stay home. Intermittent power and food deliveries. It's just a disaster.
This almost sounds like the emperor is not wearing any clothes. Or people are walking around now, for example, in other countries with masks on. They're in Mexico. They're wearing masks now. I mean, what's going to happen to everybody?
Well, I think that, on Saturday I said that, they said, when's it going to get bad? And I said, when Obama comes out on television and tells the nation everything's okay.
Yeah.
And that happened today. I would think that at this time next week, we're going to see a lot of school closings and just about all the states.
But is this panic now that's setting in?
I hope it is not panic. I would just say that you've got to accept the fact that something bad's going to happen, and you better prepare for it now.
Gosh, I don't know. Would you shut down workplaces? You can't do that now. Things are bad as it is.
Yeah, I've talked with, when my book came out, I was talking with, I got a couple emails and talked to a couple power companies in California about them planning on bringing their employees onto the property to live so they could keep the power plants going.
This couldn't have happened at the worst time, or maybe for them, the best time.
Well, and that's the thing is that, and the all stocks are dropping. Pharmaceuticals, of course, are going up. But it's not going to do wonders for this economy at this time.
No, Asian markets are already down this morning. Stay with us, Gary. We're going to come right back with you in just a moment. We'll continue to take phone calls with you. Next hour, Stephen Quayle and Alex Jones joins us with their views and their perspective. This program is not intended to scare you, but to educate you